Good afternoon, folks. BYD has decided to carve out a niche that happens to have no worthy competitors in this price segment. Neither Volkswagen nor Toyota has anything like it for this money, or even for money a little more expensive. In total, there are 22 LiDAR sensors, a built-in dash cam, autopilot, auto parking, all-wheel drive, and 2 electric motors. A 73 kilowatt-hour battery. 410 horsepower with an acceleration of 4.9 seconds to 100. The ass is bold, as you can see, and I think that at 410 horses such a thing has a place. The hood has soundproofing and gas supports. And there's a niche. The seat cushion is slightly longer than average. The seating is identical to that of the BYD Seal sedan in both hybrid and electric models. I can't figure out why there's not more space for knees in the Han. See how well I sit. 3 fingers in front of my knees. The pedals are quite far and I'm not cramped at all. Honestly, it's incredible. In this small car, I'm sitting close to the maximum in comfort, close to the max. Now brace yourself. The car is 4,630 long. I'm going to the back row, look. A bit more than a fist in front of the knees. What hand? Let's choose the right. It's already been through a lot. Do you remember when I reviewed the Mazda and said the back seat was uncomfortable? So here the back seat is as comfortable as in cars like the Zikr 001. Those who know understand what I mean. BYD Seal, BYD Han, Avatar 1-2. This seat lets you sink in, and the backrest is perfectly angled for comfort. In any Japanese cars of this type and size, the back seat is just awful. Tesla Model 3, uncomfortable in the back. Here it's likely to be simple. The artificial leather in the back is decent enough too, a little cheaper than the back of the front seats. Here it has a matte finish. A light bulb, a hook. The door card in the back is the same as the front. It's simple in the back. If it weren't for this screen here, which had to be creative somehow, they just stuck it here, I'd say it's pretty. Because the dashboard is an interesting design. It doesn't deter me. I like it. You have to get used to the screen. It's here and will be. And in terms of materials, BYD, as usual, have again jumped above the head. For $25,000, no one on the planet gives such materials. I would even say, even for $50,000, there is no such material in Europe. At the bottom, there's microfiber, a decorative plastic piece, more microfiber, and a worthy faux leather, just like on the door cards. This is Alcantara. And there's 2 spots for wireless charging, 50 watts with ventilation. It's plastic, but it's matte. And gear selector in the form of a crystal. There are numerous buttons here for sounds, modes, and parking, as well as climate control. You can see there are many buttons on the steering wheel. The steering wheel is synthetic leather too. I have a camera here that I can close if I want to. The air is mechanical, look. Well, not bad. For that money, $25,000, very decent materials. But unfortunately, they didn't cover the glove box with anything. Height and reach adjustments by hands. I like this story. I'll show you. Look how pretty it's done here. Here the fabric, but nicer than the one I had in Lixiang. There it's stiffer, rougher. Here it's a little bit more expensive. Eyeglass case, touch light bulbs, and touch control of the sunshade. The screen is large, 15 inches, and English is already included. As usually, we swipe through images and the quality is above average. The chip is fast. Yes, it runs smoothly. Here you'll find widgets and hotkeys from top to bottom. Screen is above average. You can install any program you like, and having English is a great bonus for those who live outside China and want this car. Let's see the cameras. Well, it's not bad at all for this price. Check how quickly the processor functions. It's not the top version here in the showroom. The top version has a head-up display as well. That's ambient lighting, and there's a little bit of it in the handle. We get out of the car the old-fashioned way. All the seats are faux leather, completely, and generally they are of the same decent quality. The center has perforation with front ventilation, heating, and nothing in the back. It has double glass here. Everything is pretty nice here, it's soft. There's microfiber below, bare plastic, and 12 speakers. Under the console there are 2 USB ports, including a USB-C. And a cigarette lighter. Let's check the trunk. How do they make this happen? What do you think? Trunk is 450 liters. There are some pockets. What's this, a hook? Oh, yes. There's a small compartment here, but what's under it? Okay, it's an organizer. These are 18 wheels, not top of the line. They come with a 50 profile. You could opt for 19-inch ones, which look better. I'll show you how they appear, and they have a 45 profile with ventilated disc brakes all around. So, it's 10 to 15% more expensive than its competitors. Corolla, Jetta, Bora, Octavia, Civic, but in terms of technical specifications, in terms of specs, it feels like a class higher. And this is a clear example of why BYD is outpacing everyone in sales. Let's talk about the pros, then the cons. First of all, it's smarter than them. This is a car where for $25,000 in the top model, you control it with a smartphone, and it parks itself. It drives itself and follows almost any voice command. In the highest version, we get all-wheel drive and 400 horsepower. That's pretty hefty, wouldn't you say? Next, there are 11 airbags, a 73 kilowatt-hour battery, and an 800-volt electrical system. Now I'll demonstrate the ambient lighting in the tunnel. The curb weight is 1,800 kilograms. For this weight and this price, this battery is just average. It can go 550 kilometers. Now I'll attempt to find faults. The Seal sedan is quieter than this Seal GT. But it's also $8,000 higher. The sound insulation here matches that of the Corolla, Jetta, and Civic. In short, it's just average. To be honest, when I saw the price, I was hoping for another miracle from BYD, but not this time. The front suspension is McPherson, and the rear is multi-lever. So it's just like the main competitors. Nothing special. For instance, the sedan has double wishbones in the front. Basically, everything is more than enough for the price, but I wish they would at least make the suspension more complicated. However, they would have to find savings somewhere, or they would surpass the competitive price. It is already a bit pricier than the competitors. Overall, that's just how it is, no other way. How does it handle? I guess the viewers are now convinced that it must be very sharp because its looks and horsepower hint at that. But no, it isn't. It's sharper than the Corolla, but they really wanted to keep the suspension comfort here, probably to cater to as large an audience as possible, all for sales purposes. The suspension is similar to the Jetta, Bora, Lavida. That is to say, it works out bumps pleasantly tightly while not being wobbly. I didn't like that the seats didn't have enough pronounced side support. The Jetta and Bora have better support. That's a downside. There's regeneration, and it's quite strong, which is a plus. You can easily drive with just one pedal. Electric acceleration is a thrill. You already know all about it. The brakes were enough for me. You can set them to sport mode. The steering wheel can also be switched to sport mode, and it feels quite tight. It is also a big plus. In general, I tried to be as brief and informative as possible. Thanks to everyone who stayed until the end. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Remember to eat healthy, exercise, and take care of yourself and your loved ones. I'll say goodbye. See you all again.